In today's video, I'm going to show you how to create these adorable reversible snowmen and scarecrows using all Dollar Tree items. Hi everyone, and welcome back to Belinda's DIYs. If this is your first time here, I'm so glad you stopped by. Now let me tell you a little bit about what this channel is all about. In this channel, you're going to find DIYs made with dollar items from the dollar stores, and then turn them into lovely home decor pieces for your home or give them away to your friends and family. So with that being said, please consider to subscribe to my channel and also join us in this crafting journey. And please don't forget to hit that bell icon so that you can be notified every time that I upload a new video. So if you're ready, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to start by painting these wooden blocks that I got from Dollar Tree, and these are from last year, but I'm sure that they have them this year. Now what I'm going to do is paint them, and one side I'm going to paint them one color, and then the other side I'm going to paint them on the other. Now here I'm just showing you that I had already done some distressing on one side. These are last year's, like I said, so I'm going to be reusing these. I'm going to be using this Waverly chalk paint in the color white, and this is going to be the side of the snowmen. So for these two, I'm going to paint them white. Now because these have these letterings, I'm going to have to give them about 3 coats so that I can get a nice white finish. Now here, just want you to see that I have a nice white canvas to work on. And now I'm going to turn them over, and I'm going to work now on the scarecrow side. For these two, I'm going to use this acrylic paint in the color Latte. If you can't find this particular color, you can just use any tan color will do for your scarecrow. One thing I forgot to mention is that you have to make sure that each side is dried very well before you work on the other side. I'm also going to give these about 3 coats as well. Since I had distressed it, I want to make sure that I get a nice smooth canvas. And I also want to say, if you can't find these at Dollar Tree, you can really use any pieces of wood that you might have in your stash. For the eyes, I'm going to be using these googly eyes from the Crafters Square collection. I figured that using these would be so much easier than drawing the eyes. Different sizes come in the pack, and I'm going to be using the larger ones. So I'm going to start now with a snowman. I'll be using a ruler to line up my eyes, and then I'm going to hot glue them in place. And now using a pencil, I'm going to draw a carrot, and then I'm going to move on to the mouth and then make some cheeks. And then I'm also going to put some lashes on the side of the eyes because this is going to be the snow woman. And then using a black Sharpie, I'm going to outline the lashes. And then with the red Sharpie, I'm going to fill in the lips or the smile, and then the cheeks. And for the nose, I'm going to use this acrylic paint in the color Harvest Orange, but you can also use any orange that you have on hand. You can also use a orange permanent marker. I would have used that if I had one on hand, but I didn't. Now I'm going to let this dry and give it about 2 coats. And this is how the snow woman turned out. And here's the set of the snowmen. Now for the male one, all I did is just make the smile in black, and it doesn't have any lashes or cheeks. So that's about it for him. So this is how they turned out. So now I'm gonna turn it around to the back side, and now it's time to work on the scarecrows. So I wouldn't mess up the snowman's eyes. I had to put them in a raised surface such as this frame, and I just laid them across. Now for the scarecrows, I followed the same steps, the eyes, and then I put some lashes. But for these, I'm gonna add a candy corn nose and then also a different style of mouth. So all I did was just do a triangle and then add 2 lines for the candy corn shape. Now for the mouth, I'm just gonna kind of do a few waves and curls. And then on the ends, I'm just gonna add some squiggly X's. And now I'm just gonna paint the candy corn nose and then also the mouth. For the mouth, I'm gonna use a black Sharpie. And then for the nose, I'm going to use that orange that I just showed you a while ago. And then I'm also going to use this acrylic paint in the color Lemon. And then for the very tip of the candy corn, I'm going to use the white color. Now after the nose is dry, I'm going to have to reapply those colors again. And now I have one reversible complete. And now for the male scarecrow, I'm going to do everything the same except for the lashes. And here's Mr. Scarecrow. And now we're going to work on their hats. Now these are Dollar Tree ornaments, as you can see, little hats. Right now they have some at Dollar General because I did see them. But what I'm gonna have to do with these is make them neutral so that it'll go with both the snowman and the scarecrow. So I'm gonna remove everything off of them and then start from scratch. And I'm gonna be covering them back up with this burlap ribbon. It wasn't hard at all to remove everything. Now, one thing is when I did remove the felt from this hat, it did leave a black film on it. And so I didn't like that. I ended up painting it a cream color since I was gonna cover it with the burlap ribbon. And so this is what I'm talking about. It left this film. So I ended up painting both pieces with just a tan acrylic paint. And so this is how it looks once it's painted. But I want you to look at one thing. It goes in an angle. So when I wrap the ribbon around, it is going to have some gaps that I'm gonna have to pinch and then close up. You see what I mean? So I'm gonna have to work with this to make it look right and fit. So I'm gonna start hot gluing the ribbon just right there at the top where I was pointing at only, and then that way I can start fitting it to fit properly. And you see what I mean, how I have all this room. Now I don't want my hat to have all these pinches around. So I'm gonna have to make it work where it looks pretty smooth all around. And now I'm gonna hot glue the ends. So here I just want to show you there's 2 areas that I pinched off of excess ribbon, and what I'm gonna do is take my scissors and cut that off. And then I'm still left with just a little bit of an area that has excess ribbon, and I'm just gonna take my scissors again and then just cut it down the center. And then I'm just gonna overlap the ribbon and then hot glue it together, and that'll seal it off. And this is how it turned out so far. And then using the same burlap ribbon, I'm gonna go ahead and cover the base of the hat. And I'm just gonna add some hot glue and then place the ribbon over it, and then I'm gonna turn it around on the back side and I'm gonna trim off the excess ribbon. The ribbon wasn't large enough to cover the whole circle, so I'm gonna have to use another piece to cover it up. And then for the top of the hat, I'm gonna also use another piece of ribbon. Now for this piece, I wanna make sure that it seals the ends really well. And I'm talking about where the side of the hat and the top of the hat meet. I want them to be sealed so you really can't see the foam underneath. And then I'm going to flip it over upside down and then cut the excess ribbon off. And then I stayed with another little gap that I have to cover up. Okay, so now that I have both of my pieces covered with ribbon, now I'm ready to hot glue them together and it forms the hat. Here I just want to show you that both hats are already ready and they're ready for me to start to decorate them. I'm going to start by using some of this Dollar Tree ribbon, and this is in the checker black and white print. Since this ribbon is too wide, I'm going to go ahead and cut it in half, and then I'm going to fold that half and then wrap it around one of the hats, and then I'll do the same thing to the other one. So I'm going to start hot gluing the ribbon around the base of the hat. And this is how it's looking so far. For the scarecrow side, I'm going to use these fall hydrangeas from Dollar Tree. So I'm going to remove one of the little flowers, and then I'm going to cut off the little plastic it has on the back and then hot glue it to the front of my hat. And I'm going to do the same thing to the other one as well. Just keep in mind that one hat is going to be for the male scarecrow and the other hat will be for the female scarecrow. And now for the snowman's hat, I'm going to turn my hat back to the back side and attach this little piece of pine stem. Now this came from the original hat when I took it apart. I am going to shorten it some because it's too long. I don't want it to show on the other side. And I'm also going to trim the little pine needles because they were too long. Okay, so here I'm just pointing out that I'm going to go directly to the back and then hot glue the pine stem. And then I'm going to add a little pine cone and also a little red bell. And I'm also going to decorate the other hat as well, and I'm going to use some berries and just some little Christmassy items like that. So here I just want to show you that I made holes underneath the hats, and since it's foam, it goes right through. Being that the blocks already had this stem, it's really easy just to push down my hat. And so now my scarecrow is complete with hat and all. And now I'm going to do the same thing to the other scarecrow. And now you have this adorable set of scarecrows. And now when you turn it around to the back side, you have these cute snowmen. And so you can transition from fall to winter or Christmas decor. I am in love with these. Let me know down below in the comment section what you think about them. Which was your favorite? Well, that's it for this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, please give me a big thumbs up and also share. I'd really appreciate it. You have yourself a blessed day. And remember, love, laugh, and create. Until my next video, bye-bye and God bless. And please don't forget to let me know down below which is your favorite.